lot to look forward to here this week. Any other comments from the board?
Just want to say my son's now in first grade with Miss Collins. My daughter just started preschool at the Wheat Center with Mrs. Myers. So it's going well, and I get to go to two separate spots and pick them up and drop them off. So the race every morning and after school.
I went to the legislative meeting last week. Obviously, the budget didn't go as what we would like. There are some talks that possibly the mental health money, or part of it, will be reinstated here sometime in September, but we don't really know. We are having the election for members, the MASB membership. I think there's an intro dinner next week, and Lakeview is responsible for introducing Mr. Zemke, who is one of the candidates, so I'll be there if anybody else shows. I know that it's, there was some questions about Open Meeting Act. They don't put us at the same tables, so there shouldn't be any violations of that. There were some great discussions at the legislative meeting, and hopefully we can see some turnaround. There are some positives that are going on. You know, unfortunately, when the money we thought was gonna come to K through 12, it kind of got distributed to higher ed and pre-K. Not that those are bad things, but it would have been nice that would have helped us out, like with the dual enrollment. We still have to pay for that. I don't know if the public knows that, even though now college is free, or community college is supposed to be free, us allowing dual enrollment here at Lakeview, we are still providing that service at our expense. So I want the public to understand that that is really quite nice of Lakeview to do that and to keep it going, even though we're not getting the feedback that we should be getting from the budget. I will try to keep everybody up to date on what is going on. I'm sure that Carl's probably going to mention a couple things that are pretty hot and heavy with respect to the 3%. He can probably explain that a lot better than I can. But I am trying to learn as much as I can and make sure that, you know, our school district is represented as much as possible, and what we want as a board and an administrative is being representative. So if anybody, you know, if there's something you want me to bring up, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to address it at the meeting, and that's about it. Oh, we did have compliments on our new field from the school down south from us.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Any other comments? Administration?
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. We are, in fact, continuing to advocate for correcting things that are backwards first. One of those, the dual enrollment factor you mentioned. We have graduates who go to Macomb Community College for free, but we have high school students that Lakeview is going to pay for. There's something backwards about that. This idea that we've just begun reimbursing some of the 200 and some employees of Lakeview a 3% health care and retirement payment that many of us have been paying since 2012, when the fund that it's going to is 150% funded. But to fix that, the legislature passed a piece of the bill that is allowing us to reimburse employees for that 3%, rather than just taking it away. That's backwards. There's a number of other things that are really hot for the K-12 environment, higher education money being one of them, $1 billion of the $19 billion that come in through the school aid fund. And when Public Act and the Proposal A in 93 was passed, there was no conversation whatsoever about that money paying for higher ed, colleges and universities, that is, or preschool. Yet that is where the money is coming from. Some people who voted for that should be upset by that. That's backwards. Wrong. Charter is getting $375 a pupil, and K-12 gen ed public schools not getting any money per pupil is backwards. That needs to be corrected. I'm going to stop there because I could go on for half an hour on several things that happened this year. And both the House, Senate, and the Governor's Office are the same party. So this is a result of the work they did behind the scenes, not listening per se to many of their past supporters, being most of the union groups, almost all of the education, professional groups, et cetera. So in spite of that, better news. We do have a great start to the school year. I want to thank our staff for doing a lot of things that they do to make it a welcoming, inviting environment for our families. We had some very special events that happened, new this year from the past, that we attempted to do to help welcome all the new families at the different levels. Particularly, I want to thank our principals, most of whom are in the audience tonight, for helping orchestrate that and putting it together and really, getting the boots on the ground to make those events happen. I want to thank our families, honestly, too. They have been cooperative for the most part on the traffic flow, the parking and pickup and drop off. Lots of direction is given to them about how we need that to happen in order for it to be safe, efficient, timely, and those folks with, the directions from principals in their weekly updates and their emails and their phone messages, focusing in on that, reminding how important attendance is, showing up every day. We're doing some work on attendance to incentivize and to educate families to make sure they understand attending every day is important. Not 4 days a week or, 7 or 8 days every couple of weeks. No, every day. We talked about this earlier today, the HERO idea at Harmon. Remind me what that stands for, and I'll read it back to.
Here every day, ready to learn and on time.
Here every day, ready to learn and on time. You're a Harmon hero, right? So those little tweaks to thinking about it and making it easy for people to understand is important. Board members received the book that we handed to all staff at the beginning of the year, Chief Joy Officer. It's not what people might think based on the title. It is written by an executive, CEO of a tech company, who brought a different culture to his workplace, and he's been out on the road, talking about his books. He's got 2, but talking to employees of organizations about how to bring joy to your workspace and your workplace, and how you're in control of that. So we wanted you to make sure you all have a copy. It's good for life. It's good for work. It's good for in general. Good for family. So it's got good ideas in it. And as somebody already mentioned, homecoming. It's going to be a busy Friday. We've got activities this week. All of our elementaries, I think, are going to be represented in the parade this Friday, so get there early to line up and make sure that you're in your space and place with based on the directions. And I'll stop there.
Good evening. We had in the tech department quite a few things that started over summer and are continuing with bond projects, which has expanded our security with PA system locations, cameras, additional doors that are now on the fob system, so just expanded access. We also, many of you know, and I'm sure the public knows, that we did implement a new procedural process that is limiting access into our buildings so that we can even further ensure the safety of our students and our staff. So I want to publicly thank our staff who have been implementing that change, and even more important, our parents, because it is a big change about not being able to come directly into the building and having to set appointments. That being said, we don't want to lose our personal touch. We do care about parents. We want to hear what what they have to say. We want to be responsive. It just is a step of making appointments so that we are limiting how many people are coming in and out of that office and actually having entrance into the building and to our students. So thank you for everybody to kick off. It was different, but it's been going well. We have additional cameras that are coming and being implemented, and a whole lot of technology that actually goes along with the new athletic field with cameras, sound system, scoreboard connection. So it's been a nice collaborative effort on getting those out. So thank you.
Okay, any other comments? In the spirit of security, I've heard a lot of good things already about the Sally Ports, coming in and having to make appointments. That's a good move, especially in today's world and the craziness that's been going on all around us. Fortunately, not here, but we need to protect our assets best we can. Our assets are people in the buildings, including the students, staff, et cetera. So, good stuff. Thank you. Any other comments? None? Okay, we move on to a student representative report. This evening, we have a new member from the high school, Ms. McDade. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. I just wanted to introduce myself before I start. As you just said, my name is Abigail McDade, and I'm the senior class president at Lakeview. I'm really excited to be fulfilling this role throughout the year. So, I'm gonna do it. So first, I just have a sort of general update. Each school principal reported that they had successful welcome nights as well as curriculum nights with wonderful turnouts. They all felt that it was nice to see all the families newly returning. These events for each school serve as great opportunities for students and parents to meet their teachers and become familiar with the building before going back to school. Now I have more specific updates for the Wheat Early Childhood Center. The Early Childhood Center is booming with preschoolers. Currently they have 256 preschoolers enrolled, and they are still adding new students weekly as space allows. The first few weeks of the school year, they were focusing on getting to know one another, building trust, exploring the classrooms, and becoming familiar with rules and expectations. Now they're starting to jump into the curriculum and offer students numerous opportunities to learn through play and exploration. Now for Princeton Elementary, in addition to their welcome night and curriculum night, the Princeton PTO hosted their annual before-school popsicles in the park at Blossom Heath. Families met there to enjoy a popsicle and get to know some new friends. This year, Princeton welcomed a new 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Bryson. Their annual PTO fun run will be held on Friday, October 4th, and they're looking forward to another great fun run. Princeton hopes that everyone has a great school year. Now I have Greenwood. Greenwood has already had several well-attended events, including their earlier mentioned open house and curriculum nights, along with their snow cones with the new principal, where families had the chance to meet Mrs. McNally. Looking ahead, they are excited for a few upcoming events. They have their highly anticipated fun run on September 20th, followed by their annual Harvest Fest on October 18th. Greenwood is thrilled about the year ahead and looks forward to continuing this positive momentum. Now on to Harmon. Harmon is thrilled to introduce their new kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Michelle Kuhn, and welcome our two familiar faces, Mrs. Whitney Bentness to 4th grade and Mrs. Ashley Bodeness to 1st grade. Harmon staff, parents, and scholars are teaming up with the PTO for some fun events. On Monday, September 30th, Harmon will host the Hawk Walk from 1 to 2:45 p.m. And they'll also have a Harmon McDonald's night on Thursday, October 10th, and an annual trunk or treat on Friday, October 18th. Harmon is on track for an exciting year of academic growth, strong parental partnerships, and fun for all scholars. Last elementary school, Ardmore. Ardmore's focus over the first few weeks has been on building positive relationships with students and explicitly teaching and practicing behavior expectations across all areas of school. Another main focus has been put on benchmarking students so that they can be sure to give students assistance specifically catered to their needs. They've created a buddy system where every student is paired with a buddy. They recently held their first school-wide buddy event where students traced each other in chalk along Ardmore sidewalks. This created a colorful and joyful display of cooperation. Lastly, Ardmore's PTO has been busy organizing the Husky Hike, which will take place this Friday. Fundraising efforts are well underway to support fun and educational events at Ardmore. The community has been actively engaged. Jefferson's Welcome Week supported students and teachers their first week of school to learn all of the great things happening at JMS, and as well as their high expectations that help lead them to growth and success. JMS is wrapping up fall NWEA testing, and they're looking forward to a wonderful year of teaching and learning. All right, the last one, Lakeview High School. This is the long one. On August 20th, the LHS staff welcomed new parents to the district with their inaugural parent welcome night, where parents were able to learn about the policies and procedures. Similarly, the LHS teaching staff launched Welcome Week. In various hours of the school day, students were informed about LHS policies, procedures, and other important aspects of the building. This was a good way to assimilate the students to the LHS culture with the LHS teachers leading the charge. The LHS BSIC team is looking at specific feedback on how to improve both of these events for the next school year. The class of 2025 had a successful cornhole tournament fundraiser on September 7th. A food truck and professional cornhole tournament was met with great anticipation and success. Thank you to all the senior student council and student advisors, Mr. Glass and Mr. Savali, for making this a successful event. As a gift from the class of 2025 to LHS, a large boulder/rock was delivered actually today to LHS, where the senior class can make their mark, thanks to Mr. Gordy Muskelly for setting this up for the class of 2025. The rock was placed near the auditorium. This week is homecoming week. Various activities will take place during the week, like Spirit Days along with the pep assembly. The parade will take place on Friday, September 20th, at 6 p.m. starting at the St. Clair Library parking lot, and the games will follow at 7 p.m. Each elementary school has been invited to participate in the parade. A special ribbon cutting ceremony will also take place right before the games, signifying the opening of our new athletic facility. The homecoming dance will take place on Saturday, September 21st from 7 to 10 p.m. The theme for this year's homecoming is Disney's Tangled. That's all I have, and all in all, it has been a great start to the 24-25 school year for Lakeview Public Schools.
Awesome. Lots going on, huh?
Yes.
Awesome. Any comments or questions from the board? No?
Thank you.
Yes, welcome aboard. Look forward to an eventful year. And like has been protocol in the past, if you find it necessary, you need to leave early because you have studies to do, school work to do, by all means, feel free to exit and do what you need to do to be successful. But again, thank you very, very much for your report this evening. All right, moving on. Item G, 6-month review of extended COVID-19 continuity of learning plan for the 2024-2025 school year.
Tonight, administration brings to the board's attention another state budgetary requirement for local schools. Mid-year reconsideration of the COVID extended continuity of learning plan first adopted in September 2020. The last reconfirmation of the extended COVID continuity of learning plan occurred at the March 19, 2024 board meeting. Additionally, the ARP ESSER 3 grant regulations require us to review and update the plan every 6 months while receiving the funds. This plan update reflects the fact that we have continued to offer 2 modes of instruction, full-time in-person instruction at buildings or virtual asynchronous instruction through Lakeview Virtual School since March 22nd of 2021. The requirements of the funding also include benchmark testing, FastBridge and NWEA in our case. The superintendent's goals also make reference to these requirements. This plan's 6-month update also includes a summary of attendance and two-way interaction rates, which have consistently remained between 90 and 98% for both LVS and in-person program learning. Lakeview's administrators will continue to monitor student achievement and attendance data to ensure our extended continuity of plan is implemented with fidelity. I now offer the board a chance to ask any questions.
Any questions from the board? How much longer will this continue?
This is the last one. The funds are officially done September 30th, and so we're literally spending up the last few dollars, Katie told me today. So we are
Awesome.
wrapping this up. Yes.
We are so done with COVID.
Correct. We'll miss the money, though. Miss the funds.
Okay. Moving on to general, item A, superintendent's 2024-2025 goals.
Early in August, the board reviewed and heard a short presentation about the proposed superintendent's goals for 24-25. At this time, administration seeks acceptance of the board related to, or the superintendent's goals for 24-25. At this time, administration seeks acceptance of the board related to the superintendent's previously shared and proposed goals, focusing on continued implementation of the district's strategic plan 22-27, with particular focus on the 5 priority areas, including teaching and learning, character, leadership, and service, community engagement, learning environment, and financial stability.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the 2024-2025 superintendent's goals as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Ms. Martin. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item B, Board Policy Administrative Regulations Updates, second reading / approval.
At this time, administration is requesting that the board approve the policy and administrative regulations updates as provided by Miller Johnson, our policy consultants. The first reading for consideration of these policy and regulation updates was completed at the August 6, 2024 regular meeting. These proposed updates include changes in the following areas: bylaws, sections 1003 and 1004, policy sections 3006 and 4005, and administrative regulations inside the 2000s, 3000s, and 8000s series. We recommend approval at this time.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the policy and administrative regulations updates as provided by Miller Johnson as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Mr. Asia. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Personnel, item A, changes in personnel at our places this evening is a revised personnel item.
Tonight, administration is bringing forward the following changes in personnel since the last presentation to the Board of Education on August 6th. New hires: Alexander Bowl from Jefferson Middle School, special education teacher; Nathan Thompson, JMS special education teacher; Martin Sison, Lakeview High School special education teacher; Brittany Bryson, Princeton Elementary School fifth grade teacher; Elizabeth Morissette, Ardmore Elementary School paraprofessional. And I want to make that correction, Martin is at Jefferson, not at the high school, so I apologize about that error. Resignations: Jillian Langlois, Lakeview Public Schools District Permanent Sub-Teacher; Catherine Newman, Lakeview Public Schools Part-Time Federal Grant Facilitator; Stephen Nickel, Lakeview High School Science Teacher. Virtual School Mentors: Amy Beach, Elizabeth Lewis, Shane Smith, Kristen Wetzel, Amanda Decker, Dana Lipsett, Jackie Sorgelus. Schedule B, returning coach and sponsors as listed. And also the new Schedule B, coaches and sponsors as listed.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the changes in personnel as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Mr. Minders. Discussion on the motion. Excuse me. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Excuse me, aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Bond implementation, item A, bid pack
Do we
number,
have any visitors?
We do not. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
bid pack number 7, change order, additional lockers at Princeton Elementary School, locker additions.
This evening, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following change order related to installation of new lockers at Princeton Elementary. With the increase in student population over the past several years at Princeton, the need for additional lockers in the building to allow students to not have to share a locker or utilize a portable coat or bag hang option was addressed by utilizing all available wall space during the construction at the school. In discussions with the leadership at Princeton, the need for additional lockers was necessary, and administration directed Partners in Architecture to develop potential solutions. PIA brought to administration the option of having double-stack lockers in the 4th and 5th grade wing. After discussion of this proposal with leadership and some 5th grade teachers at Princeton, this proposed solution was acceptable. Administration directed Barton Mallow Builders to seek pricing from Steel Equipment, the locker contractor, for bid package number 7. Steel Equipment submitted a price of $39,450. Both PIA and Barton Mallow Builders reviewed the pricing and found everything to be appropriate for the scope of work. Therefore, administration recommends approval of increase in contract through change order in the amount of $39,450. Go for it.
Mr. President, I recommend that the Board of Education approve the change order and contract increase to Steel Equipment in the amount of $39,450 for additional double stack lockers at Princeton Elementary School as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Martin, support by Mr. Bear. Discussion on the motion.
There is a sample of what those lockers will look like sitting behind you. So,
I do have one question.
Sure.
Is there a timeline for this?
6 to 8 weeks from approval of this.
We're sure.
That is what the steel equipment guy told us.
Okay. Any other comments?
Lockers are expensive.
Sure.
Now, does that include a lock or anything?
No, at the elementary, they don't use lock. The fifth graders may, I know at Greenwood, they'll give the kids a combination lock, put it on there and have them start to get used to it because as they go up to Jefferson, but in the elementaries, they typically don't have locks on the lockers.
So is that a little bit?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Do we have double stack lockers in elementaries at all?
We don't.
Okay.
This is, and we put it in the fourth and fifth grade wing because it's going to be sitting up a little higher, if I'm not mistaken, because there's going to be a 4-inch base on the bottom, so it'll be about 4 inches higher. So when we were talking about this, there was a sample, this sample was actually at Princeton. I grabbed some fourth and fifth grade teachers and some kids and said, could you reach this? And said, how would you manage it, right? Because that's what it is. And within 30 seconds, the fifth grade teachers had it figured out.
Is it like, are there concerns about the logistics of getting things in and out of the locker with the kids at the same time?
No, they said what they would do is, they would say, all right, anybody that's got an upper locker, go out there and put your stuff away or get it. And then, okay, if you got a lower locker,
I suppose without passing time,
there's really not. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's
there's
not
not a
much
big
of a-
passing time, so.
makes sense.
And then there'll be a
Unfortunately.
slope top on that as well, correct? So it's a necessity, especially at Princeton, because we don't have anywhere to put lockers. We've used every square inch that we probably could, so.
I figured that's why.
Yeah. It's like anywhere else. If you're in the big cities, they build up, they don't build out, right? We're using the same concept.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. On to business, roof maintenance bid approval.
Tonight, administration is recommending award of bid for district-wide annual roof preventive maintenance. In July, Detroit Roofing Inspection Service, the Lakeview's roofing consultant, conducted their annual preventive maintenance inspection at all buildings within the district. This inspection includes visual walkthrough and infrared scans of roof systems. Druce provided a written report of the findings, and administration directed the company to create a bid spec for the recommended repairs and solicit bids on behalf of the district. Repair specs were also advertised, and bidders were solicited law and district policy requires. Ultimately, 5 contractors submitted complete bids for the proposed work. Newton Crane submitted the overall low bid and the base bid maintenance at $16,505 and is being recommended for award of contract. Newton Crane has done work with Detroit Roofing Inspection Service on several projects outside the district and has worked for LPS on multiple occasions in the past. Druce feels confident that Newton Crane can complete the project within the specifications and meet all warranty requirements. Therefore, administration recommending the board approve award of contract to Newton Crane for base bid maintenance at a total amount of $16,505 for district-wide roof preventive maintenance repairs.
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Education approve the contract to Newton Crane in the amount of $16,505 for the district-wide roof preventative maintenance repairs.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Mr. Asia. Discussion on the motion.
This seems, and it sounds silly, but that's not a lot of money for every building
Yeah.
that's a little bit of work.
Yeah, and part of it is because a couple of summers ago, we replaced Princeton and Ardmore's roof completely, so less maintenance in those areas. But we are going to, at some point, not be able to maintain these roofs, and we have to do a complete replacement. And we're at end of life a lot of these. But every year when we do this preventive maintenance, we are able to extend the life because we're not letting the water and things just soak in there and deteriorate all the material. So we've probably gotten 5 to 7 extra years, wouldn't you say, of
Oh, consistent.
extended life
Consistent.
on these roofs.
And you don't-
It's a small amount of money.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've had years where we've had the roof maintenance has been below what we would bring to the board. We still bring it so that you guys are aware, but there's been years it's been 10,000. This is one of the lower ones in the last several years.
Yeah, and the idea that you seal up the crack and you don't have water infiltrating, and then when it's freeze thaw time, it gets worse, right? If you don't do those things routinely, and when you do them, you get this extension of, 25 years becomes a 30-year life instead of a 25-year warranty, or you get 32 years out of it instead of 25. So a lot of that, and this is, even before me, this district started doing this in the late 90s, and it's paid its dues, for sure.
Yeah, being proactive in such a manner definitely saves us money in the long run, so thanks to administration and your team and staying on top of this year after year, save us some long, big money. So, any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, seeing no more business before this board, I motion to adjourn.
Support?
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Bear, support by Ms. Martin to adjourn. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned at 8:03. So who's all going to the parade?
I am excited. I am beyond excited. I'm so excited for everybody.
Is anybody going to need a ride down there?
Yeah.